All right, let's just get started here. It is Thursday, March 21st. As we do every day, we want to zoom out to the monthly so we can make sure that we're maintaining this perspective. And as we can see on the monthly, it continues to be strong. You can see we look to be, continue one time framing. Made a new all-time high yesterday. Looks like we're continuing to make a new all-time high in the overnight, with the all-time high yesterday being 52.95.75. You can see 53.11.75 trading right now. So interesting look here, but like we talked about, and I mean, I think we've been talking about this since Monday now. Is you know one day of downside of 1.3% into the end of last week doesn't necessarily mean that that's it and the market's going to roll over. And, it seems like we were pretty much correct here. So always maintain perspective. Switching over here to the weekly, you can see the weekly still continues one time frame higher, still maintaining this nice trend. You could even, you really even could take a look at this trend here that's forming, um, and you could maybe turn it into like a channel if you're a technical trader, right? And if you're looking like, okay, well, when can a possible sign of weakness be showing up? Um, should be able to redraw this as a channel, yeah. And you can really, just depends, I guess, on where you look to draw it from. But if we take it from kind of this upper trend here, a break of this high really would mean that the market's probably a little bit overdone, and that's still a pretty decent ways higher. So, main takeaway here, we're still one time framing higher, and even if we switch over here to the SPX, right, you can see we are still one time framing higher as well on the weekly level. We did get that breakout yesterday. Now, switching over to the daily, you could see yesterday definitely a big +4 day. You could see we get this breakout from balance, right? We're kind of balancing in here. Get this nice strong breakout from balance. That breakout level 52.41 ish. Should we be unable to hold that or trade back below that 52.40, that would be kind of key. Definitely something that we want to be paying attention to, as if it does get below that level, market has a decent chance of rolling back over and trading back towards that middle of balance, 52.05, right? Pretty decent ways beyond that right now. Remember yesterday, +4, and the settle was 52.86.75. Now, coming over here to the profiles, a little bit of review from yesterday. You can see for the most part, the market traded sideways. We continued to build value higher as the early part of the session went on. For the most part, just very narrow range. We got the news and we left a very mechanical level behind during the J period low. Excuse me. During the J period low, trading right to the half back of that I period after I period made the low, and then the market started to bounce, right? It was very volatile in here, so it's a little bit cleaner looking, obviously, when you look back in hindsight. But if you ask why we stayed on the long side after the news, there's your reason. Failure to break back below that level really showed a sign of weakness from sellers, which we had pretty much already been seeing the past couple of days, right? We had just been seeing so many weak looks in selling, just like this day back here from Monday. right? Weak selling, weak selling. They finally got a liquidation into the close. On the 19th, Tuesday, more weak selling. We put in a poor low, squeezed them up, single prints everywhere, built value above that previous value, closed on the high. We opened up yesterday, and the market continues to rally, leaving some single prints behind and a very big range of 56 points. So, and then what do we say that settle was? 86.75. So going into today, we can see overnight inventory 100% net long. We're definitely going to be opening up on a gap. So gap rule is going to be in play. Definitely you want to go with any gap that doesn't fill early. And for me, I think the key here today, especially yesterday, was a +4. So we definitely want to keep that in mind as well. But really, any pullback that doesn't get past this settle and really down into these single prints is probably something that you're going to want to be staying long for. So today's going to be a day where you're going to have to exercise a bit of patience. You're going to have to wait for these setups to come to fruition, but you're going to be really looking at the market to continue higher, right? I mean, you could try to fade it, good luck, right? Fading at the all-time highs is normally a recipe for disaster. Remember, we did set this overnight all-time high level, so 53.1575 is most, in my opinion, likely to get revisited. Is it likely to stay or to get revisited today? We're pretty close to it, but kind of have to wait and see. This is something that we had been talking about, right? And the only real thing is like there was no good excess at the high, and then we had the all-time high made in the overnight session, and typically that's just not a lasting high. So with today, if we stay trading sideways for the next 20 minutes, really that's kind of the only kind of look is out of this upper distribution is to test that all-time high. As far as levels beyond that, I'm not really sure. Yesterday we got pretty good estimation. Definitely traded a little bit higher, but we were on target with that 52.80. Probably could have ran it a little bit more, but what can you do here? We gotta do it. Work with what we've got. You can see some pretty decent volume, pretty decent put open interest at 25. So 43.25 and then 43.80 are kind of the next levels above. So 43.25 and then 43.80 are kind of the next levels above. A break above the overnight high and fail to hold may get a deeper retracement here. So that'll be something that we definitely gotta be a little bit of. Oh, I did one right. I'm still down in the 40s. 53.25, 53.80. Thanks, Rich. But a break above the overnight high and fail to hold really, I think, causes a bit of a deeper retracement. Not really a short that I'd be looking to take. But I mean, you've got some kind of key levels here that 53.03 or 5300. That's where I think that there's some possible longs at. The end of the settlement period, there's some possible longs from there. And then it definitely is kind of a cautious zone here. Back down to the, you know, the all-time high and then the previous day's settle. I think there's probably an opportunity for a gap fill trade here. Back down to the previous day. Um, but then even then there's, you know, a long out of that. So we just got to really be careful. I'm really just going to be looking to kind of pick my spots below the settle, right? Then we start to get these cautionary shorts, and if they can pick up, obviously their target is going to be these single prints. But like I said, there's going to be buy areas all throughout here, I think. So I really think this area is just pure cautious zone, and then a trade into the singles that fails to fill really kind of puts in our best long opportunity as most likely get a recheck of that all-time high. But yeah, other than that, that is pretty much it. You know, it's all-time highs, it's gaps. If you're a newer trader trading on a gap that's this large, typically can be a bit dangerous or a bit risky. So maybe don't trade today. Um, Typically, if it's 10 points or more, you want to be real careful. And below that settle, if we start to get some volume below that settle, the market may get a little bit volatile as some weak or laggard longs start to try to power their way in. Um, as it seems like we've talked about that this the initial move has come up off a lack of selling. So sellers seem to be busy here around this 52.33. They didn't move down underneath of the 5200 and have now been forced to cover. That takes us up to the 5300. So we'll really see kind of how they act as the day goes on. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you're managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. And I will see you guys tomorrow.